Welcome to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. Kristen, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you. I love that color on you. It's so pretty.
I'm just ready for the nice weather.
I am too. I'm so ready. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Greg, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. It's another
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
You do. You look very dapper.
I'm the thorn between two roses.
You're on the edge.
Well, depends on how you're looking, yeah.
Well, Kristen, I know that you and Greg are huge Disney fans. We're going to talk a little bit about that. The original Mickey Mouse copyright and some other pieces of art are pillars in the entertainment world. Wow. So some of this, they've expired after 95 years. We're talking about well-known literature, the song Mac the Knife, Peter Pan, Tigger, a movie by Charlie Chaplin, and one starring the Marx Brothers. Now, other creators can now use these work in any way they want, technically. You know how Mickey has changed through the years? Well, the copyright expired on the original Steamboat Willie. I loved that, by the way. That was a great one. It was so cute. So obviously, I hate to break the two Taylor hearts here, but there are video games out there right now already having Mickey do things that Mickey Mouse would never do.
Oh, no.
This is catching many Mickey enthusiasts off guard. And me too. I'm feeling like, what is going on with the Mickey that we know and love? But my question to you both, after talking about Disney, of course, is when are you going again? No, I'm kidding. What I'd like to know is, how do you help retirees from being caught off guard? Because I know so many Mickey people are caught off guard right now, but what about how it relates to retirees?
Well, you know, what I'm just thinking is, you know, the copyright's off Mac the Knife. So I can sing When the Clock Strikes.
Not technically.
6:30, babe. And I'm not breaking a copyright, all right?
You're
so it's all
not.
good.
You're not.
It's
You're loud.
funny. Greg will sing to me at random times and random places, and everyone's just like, oh, and I'm just like, stop. It's embarrassing. No, but you know, disappointment is real. We had our vow renewal at Disney. Of course, we were married there, but we had our vow renewal there as well. And it rained.
Yes.
So now they had a backup plan. They had us in a beautiful area, the aquarium, restaurant upstairs, and it was pretty, but it was dark and it wasn't what we expected, right?
Yes.
There's
I
a
can
backup
picture
plan
that.
though.
Okay.
And then we came home with COVID, and that was horrible. So, you know, we had this wonderful thing we were excited that we had planned a year for, and it rained, and then we got sick on our way home. And, you know, so there was some disappointment there, but we had some backup plans. And I think that's important when it comes to retirement. When you're going through and you're doing all these things, I think it's important to hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
Makes sense.
Right? And that includes planning for things that are expected. Like we've talked on past shows about the different risks that you'll face in retirement, investment risk, political risk, legislative risk, those things. I think it's important to plan for those things because they're probably going to happen, right? And we can hope that they won't affect our retirement, but it's probable that they will, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, I encourage people as they're entering into retirement to do things. Because, you know, our window of opportunity for good health doesn't last forever.
That is true.
And, you know,
real.
we've had people come in and after the fact, after their health began to fail, in tears, talking about the things they wish they had done. You know, and so take advantage. Hope for the best. Hope that you live healthy, wealthy, and wise until you're 100.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't happen for everybody. So we need to take advantage of that opportunity, and that's why it is so important to protect your lifestyle with a protected income plan. So that's where we are making sure that people can take those trips, they can pay their bills, they can do things with their grandchildren, they can live that retirement life that's important to them.
You know, I think, Greg, we've had quite a few clients over the years ask us for our opinion on planning a trip or doing things, or even showing us their dream board, things that
Yes.
they'd like to do. I wish we would have that more, though, don't you?
I do.
Because being a part of that is so fulfilling. That's the best part of what we do, I think, is seeing when they come in and bring their pictures from their Alaska trip. Or I'm just thinking of ones throughout the years. I wish we had some more of that. But I think so many times people are so caught up in the unknown of possibly being caught off guard, that they're so focused on the money part of it.
Yes.
And I think that as you start to plan and start to feel that sigh of relief, if you will, that you've done some planning, it's important to take that next step. And it's different for everybody.
Absolutely.
I think, a trip doesn't have to be thousands of dollars. There's so many things you can do and so many beautiful things you can see and experience that don't cost much money at all.
I agree.
So one of our core principles, Cynthia, in our practice is protect your income, grow the rest.
Okay.
And the reason that's so important is we want people to be able to know that they're going to be okay. And so protecting that level of income keeps you from being caught off guard financially. Now, there's things that are out of our control. Can we control if the stock market goes up or down?
No.
No, we can't. Can we control, we can do our little part, but can we control who's in the White House next?
Well, pretty much no.
No, we can't.
It's true.
We can't control who's overseeing Congress. We can't control who's overseeing the Senate. We can't control what the Supreme Court's going to vote on. We can't control any of those things.
You're right.
But what we can control is how we go about our personal economy.
Very true.
And we could decide that we're willing to take risks with everything we have and throw caution to the wind, take all those risks, but then you really run the risk of being caught off guard because none of those things are within your control. So if you do follow that principle that we aspire to, protect your income, grow the rest, well, at least you know that piece is settled. I've protected my income from market losses. I protected it from legislative risk. I protected it from these types of things so that now I've got a dependable income stream, and that's where you live. That's what allows you to take those trips, and that's what allows you to do the things you want to do.
Yeah.
So that's a big one. Keep you from being caught off guard.
Okay.
Plan ahead.
Yeah.
Plan ahead. That's true with everything we do in life, whether it's your vacations you take. Kristen is our event planner.
Okay.
She does, she wears so many hats, and she does an awesome job at every one of them.
She does. She's amazing.
She really does. She's amazing.
Yes.
But she plans out all our trips, and the trips are awesome. They really are. And the kids have a ball. We enjoy ourselves because we planned ahead. But an area in which I find a lot of people, it's starting to get on the top of Americans' minds, but not everyone right now is doing anything about it is taxes.
Yes, very true.
Because right now tax rates are still low, and I'm appreciative of that. Now, we never want to pay $1 more in tax than what we have to, but let's take advantage of that. Let's plan ahead, because I think the trajectory of tax rates could be something way different than what we're experiencing right now.
Absolutely.
And I really believe you at home, if you're real honest with yourself, you're saying, goodness, in 5 to 10 years, tax rates could be much, much higher than what they are right now. So does it make sense for you to have a plan for those taxes and a plan to take advantage of today's tax rates and maybe transition some of those dollars that you've been deferring over to a tax-free strategy? To me, I think that just makes perfect sense.
It definitely does, Greg.
So plan ahead.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, I know that you and Kristen have set aside a specific number of spots this week for new viewers to the show.
Sure.
Let's talk about that before we open the phone line.
Well, Cynthia, that's our complete planning review.
Okay.
Because we want to look at everything. We want to peel back the surface, so to speak, look at that risk versus return, make sure that your plan is on track for where you really want to be, to have that protected income plan, to have a tax strategy that makes sense for you and your family, to also have a health care plan, and whatever's left over, get it to those you love, not the court system, not the attorneys, not the probate courts. And we want to make sure that everything is the way you want it to be. So for anyone that calls before the end of today's show, 614-336-7660, you can claim your written financial plan, that complete planning review. So give us a call, 614-336-7660.
Greg, thank you so much. And Kristen, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call is 614-336-7660. When it comes to your retirement years, you don't want to be caught off guard. You want to have a solid plan in place so that you can have peace of mind and enjoy the years that you've worked so hard to get to. What you're being offered today is the opportunity to claim one of those spots that Greg and Kristen have set aside for you. Again, the number, 614-336-7660, or go ahead, grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to Legacy Retirement Group's landing page. We're going to take a very short commercial break here on Winning Retirement TV. I have so much more with Greg and Kristen when we return.
Welcome to Winning Retirement Radio with Greg and Kristen Taylor.
Kristen and I love doing Winning Retirement Radio.
You know, it's funny, Greg dragged me kicking and screaming to the radio show. He saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. I was scared to death. I couldn't even do a sound check. And he just convinced me, you know, I really think it would be great for people to get the dynamic of us together.
I think it's cool that Greg and Kristen have a radio show. And I think it's cool that I work for a company with public media presence.
It's a way to talk directly to people that I know are tuned in for specific information. And so for us, it's just, you know, letting ourselves be us.
And of course, you know, I'm a battered husband. I get picked on every week on the show.
It's like being a fly on the wall.
And a lot of our listeners just really enjoy my singing more than anything else on the show.
We kind of get a sneak peek.
I might just break out in song at any time.
Greg pretty much singing every radio show.
Ave Maria.
He says something that I think is funny. I call him out on it. He does me too. And I think that realness that we're able to provide is something that's different. I love the radio show.
It's really cool to kind of see it from when it's being recorded to what it is when it's live.
We have a lot of fun.
It's one of my favorite things that we do.
It's certainly been a joy.
When people come into our office, they feel like they already know us.
And welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. We're talking about all things retirement on today's show. I love this. Aaron Zittner is a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, and he worked on a very interesting piece for the election called Voters See the American Dream Slipping Out of Reach. He cited inflation, interest rates, and lack of pensions as key factors in his report. Greg, how do you and Kristen help retirees fulfill their dreams?
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you think about it, and I say this all the time, retirement is a journey, not a destination. And we want people through that journey to be able to continue to dream. You know, because the reason I say that, because if retirement was it, okay, I retired and that's it, you know, what do I have to look for now?
Well, I think the American dream, what is the American dream, right? Was it the owning a car and a house and 2.5 kids
and a dog,
right, and a white picket fence?
Yes.
But that's not everybody's dream. Some people's dream is to get an RV and travel across the country and live simply and not have any possessions, you know?
Yeah.
So it's funny to me that we base so many things, it's like the rules of thumb, you know?
Yes.
On what the broad brush stroke painted dream is.
That's true.
So I think the same is true with retirement. What's the retirement dream? What is that? What are we striving for? What are people worried about not having? I looked up, I just was curious one day because I thought, well, what is the retirement dream, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And for some people, it's financial security. Some people, it's just the basics.
Yeah.
It's having enough money to survive.
Pay your bills.
Pay your bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But for some people, it goes even deeper, and that's hobbies. You know, having time to do what's important to do. I know one thing I love doing is photography. I've talked about it on many shows, and I don't really like doing it for hire. It's not enjoyable for me for hire. But if I can do it as a hobby, I could do that all day long.
Yes.
And just roam around and take pictures. And for some, it's volunteering, right? We have so many clients that volunteer at hospitals, and I'm thinking of one particular gentleman that goes and holds babies and rocks them in the NICU as his thing. That's a hobby and volunteer work that he really, truly, deeply cares about.
Yes.
And so when we start looking at all the different dreams someone could have, how do we accomplish that? How do we help them accomplish that?
Sure. Well, the first thing is to help people define what their dreams are.
Yes.
Sometimes that's hard. You've been, kind of head down, going after things with your job, and sometimes you don't even have time to dream.
Very true.
You're so busy.
You get the hamster in the wheel.
Exactly.
Just keeps going.
So
Yeah.
one of those cool things about, transitioning into that next part of your journey is now you actually have time to think about dreaming. So that's part of the fun in the conference room is to, when we talk about things with people is, okay, what do you want, if you could have your perfect retirement, what would that look like? How would you paint that
Question.
picture?
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. I've got a couple, they're such a cool couple, but if he had it his way, they would spend 7 months a year in Florida.
Okay.
And she's about halfway there except for one thing. In Columbus are her grandchildren.
Oh, of course.
And she wants to be at the school plays, and she wants to be at the soccer games, and she wants to be at all the events.
She's a great grandma.
Oh, it sounds like it. She sounds amazing.
She wants to have them over the house on Friday night and, pitch tents in the living room and pop popcorn and have fun with her grandchildren.
I love her already.
So for her, that's her American dream, her grandchildren.
Yes.
Knowing that she can love on them and spoil them and be the grandmother she always dreamed of being, that is her American dream. Now, her husband, when it comes to January, February, and March, he would love, he loves his grandchildren too, don't get me wrong, but he would love to be playing golf in Florida and not up here where the sun doesn't shine very often, 1 out of 30 days.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you were going to say,
What?
was it where the sun don't shine?
Yeah, where the sun don't shine. Oh.
Different meaning.
Different meaning sometimes, yes. So defining that American dream is so important.
Absolutely.
And then kind of figuring out what does that American dream kind of cost? What's, what we have to be able to do to achieve that
Right.
dream. And we've got a couple of families right now that are traveling the country part of the year in RVs.
I love that.
And they purchased RVs, they purchased new trucks, they're just, each day they get up, they drive until they feel like stopping, and they might drive 15 miles that day, they might drive 200 miles that day.
Yeah.
But they're just, for several months a year, that's what they do, and they're loving it. Absolutely loving it. No strings attached, so to speak. He's like, I had to be at my job 12 hours a day for over 30 years. And he's like, now I don't have to clock in anywhere. I can just be where I want to be when I want to be there. And that's their dream. Others would be like, no, thank you. I don't want any part of that RV stuff. But we've got people, families that have gone. In fact, a family just got back from Ireland.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
And they started in Dublin, Ireland. They worked all their way down around Killarney and some of that area, which is beautiful country, Irish country. And they spent nearly a month there and just had a ball. Nothing fancy. They didn't do really expensive things. They didn't pack a whole lot of stuff. They just went and had a great time. And that's part of their American dream. So for all of us, it's not about necessarily even how much money you saved, but have you saved enough to do what it is that you dream about?
Yes, that you love.
And that's what's fulfilling to us. We just love it.
Well, Greg, you and Kristen have a very special offer to present to the viewers at home today. Let's talk about what that is before we revisit the phone lines.
Well, in order to know whether or not you're actually able to accomplish your American dream, we would like to offer you what we call the Retirement Readiness Review. And in that review, we're going to test your risk versus return. We're going to test your ability to create the income you need to fulfill those dreams and show you how to accomplish that, how to possibly reduce or eliminate taxes in the future, look at the healthcare risks that you might be facing, and also your legacy or estate planning. Make sure that's all tightened up. So everyone that calls here, if you are 60 and older, you're near retirement or already retired, and this is important to you, give us a call and claim your opportunity for that one-on-one consultation, 614-336-7660.
Greg, thank you so much. And Kristen, thank you so much. To the viewers at home, that number to call is 614-336-7660. You deserve to have the retirement of your dreams, a customized plan that's going to suit your needs, your hopes, your wants, and your goals for retirement. Greg and Kristen have set aside spots for you to claim, but please call in today to take advantage of this. 614-336-7660, or grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We're going to take a very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. I have so much more with Greg and Kristen when we return.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, and I'm joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. We're talking about all things relating to retirement. I think this is a very interesting situation that we ran into recently. This was a listener that actually called in during the Winning Retirement radio show, and she unfortunately had lost her husband after over 4 decades of being married, which is so devastating when you think about it. But she had a question. She actually wanted to come into the office in Dublin, but she wanted to make sure that it would be okay if she brought one of her children with her. I thought that was interesting that she asked that question up front. Would it be okay if she brought one of her children? Do you see that often, Kristen?
Yeah, we do see that, especially in widowed women who, you know, have maybe not been as active in the planning process when it comes to the finances, and just wanting to have that second set of eyes with them to feel comfortable that they're making a good decision. And I think that's perfectly okay. And we've had where couples have wanted to bring their children in. I remember there was a meeting we had. This was years ago.
Yes, it is.
And it was a couple that brought, I want to say 5 people with them.
Yes.
Their children, and there was like a couple spouses with them.
A brother and a sister, because they were dealing with the mom.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
This is the Italian family?
Yes.
So, but it was funny. In the middle of the meeting, everyone got up and started arguing in Italian.
No.
And I was trying to figure out what was happening. I thought they were upset. You know, I didn't know if they're upset or what was going on.
Yeah.
And then they just sat down and were like, okay, we're good. So they had some kind of argument about what was going on, and they figured it out.
And then they said
So yeah, they were all there to discuss planning for mom. And they couldn't get on the same page, and so they didn't want me to know what they were talking about, so they broke out in Italian. It was so funny.
That is
But they figured it out.
Yes.
I mean, it worked.
That is really cute. You're
I
probably
can't
looking at each other
referee.
like,
I don't know what's happening
Yeah.
here, you know?
You're just watching, going back and forth.
But Cynthia, absolutely it's okay. Because, look, as fiduciary advisors, it's our job to help people do what's in their best interest.
Yeah, because Brent on our team has also had families come in and sit down with them.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it should never be an issue if someone wants someone to come on their behalf to make sure that what's being done is in their best interest. Make sure they understand it. Make sure that they're not missing something that might be important in their decision making. So, in fact, I would go to as far as to say this: if it's not okay for you to bring somebody, you probably shouldn't work with that advisor.
Well,
You're right. That's interesting.
yeah, I
Go
mean,
ahead,
I think it's a good time to talk about our entire process, because the first part of our process is discovery. That's our first meeting. We start learning what is important, what makes your family tick, what things are important for your future. And if it includes your children or includes another professional that is a part of your team helping you plan for your retirement, whether it be your CPA or an estate planning attorney or elder law attorney, I don't think that should be a problem. I think that's a part of the discovery process, and Greg and our entire team at Legacy doing our due diligence to make sure we understand the family situation so that we can create a custom plan that fits what you're trying to accomplish.
And And I love that word discovery, Kristen, because it literally is that. We're trying to understand
Yes.
what someone's situation is. Because how can you create a plan if you don't know what someone's needs are?
That's
You remember
true.
those calls we used to get?
I mean,
You remember those calls we used to get? I haven't gotten them in a while where it said, I'm going to save you some money. Well, how do you know what I pay right now for my electric bill?
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Right? You know the electric
yes.
calls?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
You
100%.
even discovered that. You haven't checked my bill. You don't know what
Yeah.
I pay. You can't tell me what you're going to save me or what you're going to do for me without knowing anything about me.
That's
right?
true.
so that's really should be a red light to people. If there are solutions being offered without discovering what the need is, then you have to wonder, am I being sold a product or am I being offered solutions?
Right.
Well, and that's
it's
a
not
good-
one size fits all.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a good
absolutely
point.
not.
That's a
No.
good point. And you can't come up with a solution without analyzing the information that you've discovered.
That's exactly right. So once we go through that discovery process and we understand where someone stands, what their needs are, what their goals are, what it is that they're actually trying to achieve, what they have to work with, now we go to our second phase, which is analysis.
Okay.
And Kristen and I it's not just our show. I mean, this is our show, but it's
Cynthia. It's Cynthia
and
as well.
Cynthia, yeah. But what I mean by that, we have an entire team at Legacy that's behind the scenes that are there serving our families.
Absolutely.
I mean, they love the people that we work with. They literally do. They cry when they cry. They laugh when they laugh. They celebrate when they celebrate. It's really become a family situation here.
Yeah.
But then we have an entire team of fiduciary advisors that are behind the scenes that are actually analyzing portfolios to help us notice if there are, they give us a list of observations of things that could possibly be critical points in a portfolio. And we might see 7 opportunities for improvement or 3 opportunities for improvement, but any opportunities for improvement we share with the people that are coming in just to say, okay, these, our team of CFPs and fiduciary advisors has noticed these things that you should be watching out for. And that team approach is what really allows us to do what we believe is in the best interest of people.
Greg, thank you so much. Kristen, you and Greg have a very special offer to present to our viewers at home. Let's talk about what that is before we say goodbye.
Yeah, as you're trying to unravel this process of getting your retirement house in order, I think it's important to really know where to start. And one good place to start is by going to our website, legacyretirementgroup.com. There's lots of great resources on there, but specifically under the tools section, you can click on My Retirement Kit and download that kit right from our website. It's a little guide that'll help you get things in order, start formulating your questions that you might have, and you're able to get things organized and move on to scheduling an appointment and getting rolling on your winning retirement.
Kristen, thank you so much. Greg, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us today. We'll see you back 1 week from today.